Who's that knocking at the door? It's all your friends, you filthy whore. Your husband's gone and we've got books and a bottle of wine to kill. It's Hollywood. It's books. It's gossip. I'm shook. It's memoirs. It's martinis. It's Studio 54. It's Fellini. Celebrity Book Club. Come read it while it's hot. Celebrity Book Club. Tell your secrets, we won't talk. Celebrity Book Club. No boys are allowed. Celebrity Book Club. Say it loud and proud. Celebrity Book Club.
Buzz me in, I brought the Cuervo.
Hey, best friend.
My sister in Christ, how are you?
My beautiful brother in Christendom. It is so gorgeous to see you. I had the longest day. I was on the Sea of Galilee for like 6 hours. There was ensuing traffic at the port. I was trying to dock. You know how it is.
Oh, girl, I'm with some goats, okay? They all had leprosy, but funny thing happened.
Oh, let me guess. They didn't even want to be healed.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
They all just want to walk around Jerusalem covered in leprosy.
Right, I'm like, your limbs are falling off, babe. Just accept Christ into your heart. People are insane these days.
But finally, I had some wine. It was water, but this like really hot guy came up and like changed it for me. This is so crazy. We have one of the strongest sisters in faith joining us today.
Yeah, one of my favorite disciples from Sunday school, Saturday school, all the schools really. She's a lover, she's a fighter, she's a friend. She's running for governor. She is.
She's a family woman. Oh, and by the way, to our listeners, yes, this is what we're calling now our annual Bible episode.
Oh,
and we are doing the Second Testament, and we are...
Sorry, the Second Testament. We're doing, colloquially known as the Bible Part 2, and we have one of our favorite Christians here with us. You can hear her, that gorgeous, sumptuous, many people say French voice coming in on the microphone.
You know her from her Faithful special on Netflix.
Called The Twist, ... She's gorgeous. It's actually The Twist, ... question mark. She's gorgeous. Ladies and gentlemen, Kat Cohen.
Catherine Cohen.
Oh, I am feeling the power of gratitude.
Yes.
I am feeling the heart of Jesus, and I feel like he is filling me up through both of you, and I feel so full with Jesus' filling.
It's so uncanny the way it comes out of you, like so realistically, you know what I mean? Like
Yes.
I feel like I can feel the sexuality and the repression and then the unrepressed sexuality coming back.
I don't know anyone who embodies Christ more than you.
I try and live in his image, and that is a him, and that is a guy, a white guy with a beard.
With long hair.
Long hair, looks like a member of Fleet Foxes. That is what he, capital H, looks like, and I don't want to hear otherwise. And he can fill me up any day of the week.
I love my God. He's awesome.
Our God is an awesome God. He reigns from heaven above with wisdom, power, and love.
So
let's get into it, Kat.
Kat, you obviously
Christian.
have a background in this world.
Well, it's really twisted because my last name's Cohen. I am half Jewish, but growing up in Texas, I ended up going to evangelical church and then camp in Arkansas, camp called Camp Ozark, the incomparable Camp Ozark, where you were encouraged to live out loud in Christ's image. It destroyed my brain. It ruins lives. It's the most twisted place.
So scary.
How did you come upon Camp Ozark? Was it like a hot fellow popular girl was like, you gotta come this summer?
Yeah, it was cool. Like in my high school, it was like a cool place to go. It's like, we're going to Ozark, and like my church, like a lot of kids went to Ozark.
It was like the
I was fifth session
now.
A lot of Houston kids did fifth session, and I was actually in Osage, which is like kind of the sexier tribe, and it was all about fifth session. And there was like always a theme song, and the main one I remember is La 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 Live Out Loud.
And is it co-ed?
Y'all, it is extremely co-ed, and every night you have Devo, which is devotional in your cabin, where you all sit with your Bibles, and everyone, like, you, like, have to cry or it's, like, not a good Devo.
Like, everyone is like, you're silent all reading your Devos, or do you read aloud to each other?
You're reading, you, like, read a verse, then you talk it through. Okay. I remember one night sobbing on the steps of my cabin with this friend of mine because we were so worried about how our Jewish friends and family were all going to hell, and we were really sad about that. We were like, this is just crazy.
No.
We're like, this is crazy.
Well, to
And you were
just
just
jump
like,
right into the Second Testament, I was like, okay, this is so Kanye. Like, the whole Second Testament is like, yeah, and then the Jews did this.
Basically, also, like, the second I went to college and wasn't around these people, I was like, oh, wait, I don't want to do this anymore, and was somehow miraculously able to, like, fully snap out of it. But I was telling Lily before we started recording that it was very cool to, like, memorize long Bible verses and, like, have them to say to people. Like, and I texted a friend of mine who I'm still very close with, who was also part of the church, and she sent me, I was like, send me the verses you remember. And so I have some queued up for y'all.
Let's do it. Let's get into it.
Would there be people at Ozark where you just be like, hey, Brandon, Luke 3:11, and he would just like say it, and they'd be like, party trick.
It would be more like, I can't talk to Brandon because he's making me feel impure, and you had to wear a one-piece bathing suit.
Even under clothes, like while you're sleeping.
Well, the thing to wear was that you'd wear a sports bra underneath a one-piece bathing suit, and then girls would get in trouble if their shorts dipped below like the hip part, and it was called hip skin. And they'd be like, no hip skin, girls.
hip skin.
Too erotic.
That's so sexy. Hip skin. We should come
Hip
out with
skin
more
is a-
shorts that are called hip skin.
Wait, no,
shorts.
hip skin is a great name for a brand. Like,
Hip skin. Oh my
yeah.
God.
Hip skin. Oh, I got another pair of hip skins. I got three. Just three, every color.
And it's
They
just like
send
a,
you monthly
it's a,
hip skin
it's
subscription.
it's a post Christian subscription box.
Today's episode is sponsored by Hipskins.
A monthly subscription of sexy shorts that obey God.
Use code PURE at checkout.
Did you, before we get to your favorite phrase, did you like make out at Camp Ozark?
No one wanted to kiss me for so long. It was hell. I remember once I
Right,
had a
your
crush on
famous
this
song.
boy. Yeah, I know.
I guess.
I had a crush on this boy once who wore this like maroon Arkansas hat, go Razorbacks.
Hot.
And when I literally, it was like a movie. I watched in real time my friend tell him I had a crush on him, and I watched him and his friends all start pointing at me and laughing.
Oh,
That's why I do stand-up comedy
Wait,
professionally.
that's so the Taylor Swift song. Like, have you ever like kissed somebody in a crowded room when everyone was like laughing at you? Or
Except
whatever?
then no one started clapping for you.
But then
That's
no
just
one
the first
clapped.
part of that lyric.
Wait, and then but was like the sluttiest girl at church camp and the sluttiest guy, like, was there an insanely impure hand job happening underneath the rectory or whatever?
After
No,
Devos.
this camp was so twisted that like the coolest girl was like the most pure and like had a boyfriend, but they didn't kiss, and they wouldn't kiss until they were married.
Wow.
And a lot of these camp couples that like we looked up to, it was so clear they're now in retrospect that both sides are so closeted.
Yeah.
And that's why
Of course,
that's why they could obey.
Yeah.
Right.
They're like, I want nothing to do with you.
The guy has like an 8-pack and like is showing so much hip skin and is just like, I have yes, of course I would love to kiss Kaylee, but I won't. And it's like, you're in Chelsea now. Absolutely. Just
Well,
like,
he was just like, me and my fiance both love musicals. We're actually both auditioning right now.
Yeah. Exact.
Okay, so wait, what's your favorite verse?
I mean, yeah, this is Ephesians, which is kind of like alt, which is chic. For by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing, it is the gift of God. Ephesians 2:8.
Interesting.
And another classic one is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
Okay, so these are kind of like classic girl boss ones where it's just like, hell yes, bitch, you
I
got
can
this.
do it.
Totally.
Yeah,
this-
the New Testament to me was much more, it is very Kardashians in this way, because it is very just like, he who have give bread will not eat the bread until we all rise in the name of Christ. And it's like, basically, don't eat carbs until like you become like holy in his eyes.
It's very TED Talk, like, to me. So for those of you who don't know, the Second Testament, as we call it, it's kind of the season 2. It's kind of like the Old Testament is very like the Jews, like, in their whole story. And then they were like, actually, the Jews are over and like Jesus is God now. And so here's this like story about him and like how he's amazing and how he just like was the original like TEDx speaker and went around doing these TEDx talks like around like Jordan, and it was
No,
just,
it's
like,
so Nixium, the whole thing.
It
It's just-
really is. It's like, gather around, girls. It's time to get branded.
and I guess I'm just like, okay, so there's nothing else to do, and like you're boat is docked at like the port of Galilee, and you're like, well, this random guy with long hair is talking. I guess I'll go listen because what else am I doing? Like, no one has a phone. So it's just like, yeah, he was kind of the only game in town. But then it's just like so much of it that he's spouting is like, you know, and not to poke holes in the Bible, because I would never do that.
Because it is without flaw, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it makes sense. It really aged well, hasn't it?
It's just very like, this is kind of general ass advice. Just being like, do unto others. Like, things will go well if you believe in yourself, and just like, good luck.
It's very love is patient, love is kind, whereas Old Testament's very like put blood over your door, like take a lamb penis for your son.
Yes, everyone's
Yeah.
always like raped, and then there's 9 sheep, and they're boarding ship, and this is just like. And there was a blind man, and when Jesus, okay, this part was insane to me. There's like a blind man. Jesus takes clay, puts it on the blind man's eyes, and fixes his sight. It's the first LASIK. I'm like,
LASIK was originally clay. I mean,
That is a clay sleigh.
and in all of it, you're just like, also they run through stuff so quickly. So like, yeah, then he cured a lunatic and someone with palsy. And it's just like, they're not even really explaining.
Thank
and so I'm
you.
like,
Next.
I do feel like it's like, you know, there's many explanations, but it's like, I feel like there's a lot of Munchausens going on in the Levant at this time. It's very just like, everyone's walking around being like, oh my God, I've had a tummy ache for 8 days. And then Jesus is just like, here's some clay. And they're like, wow, I'm better.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was like, I get that like God was like, Jesus is my son, blah, blah, blah. And that whole thing explained in the
With that,
Testament.
I believe 100%.
Totally. But then I'm a little like, so he has so many powers. I need like a little more, if you can kind of explain, Kat, like background.
Oh, I don't really remember. I mean, I really blacked out like those years for the most part, hence me having to text my friend. But I know everyone was very obsessed with the Holy Trinity and with understanding that like God is one and like they are all things through him who strengthens me. I remember one time I was on a Christian ski trip and I was like, I wasn't feeling moved and I wanted to feel moved. So we were singing this song and then I was like, I have this like very visceral memory of like looking up and being like, wow, if that light turned into God's face, I'd probably cry right now. That's pretty cool.
Did you say that aloud?
No, just like in my head, I was like, wow, that means I must really believe.
Wait, so you were looking for what we call the physical signs. You were being like, actually, like that guy looks like Jesus. Or just like, I'm seeing a cross right now, like in a shadow.
I kept just being like, I don't feel these things everyone's talking about. Like, how can I construct it?
Were girls on the ski trip and at camp like coming back to you like in the bunk bed being like, y'all, like literally like Jesus, God came to me like on the slope and I did persist.
Yeah, they'd be like,
and ski
today
walk.
like God witnessed to me like on the slope. Like I totally saw him. I saw through nature's beauty, I was seeing him. But then also like our favorite game, quote unquote game to play at night was that we'd all be sleeping in these big rooms like in bunk beds. And our favorite game was just to like start making sex noises and see if anyone knew who it was. So I'm like, there was also that. Like, a bunch of virgins moaning in unison.
That is actually like the most high school game I can think where it's just like you're all such virgins and you're being like, wait, no, like sex noise competition. Okay, I want to bring up this line because I was a little confused by it. Matthew 11:16. If we may.
You know, I told you guys, I wish I had my high school Bible, which was hot pink and black and said my name.
I love how slutty Hot Topic that is.
Yeah.
Like the Bible itself, like the cover or your highlighter was like pink.
No, the cover, the Bible was actually, you guys love this, a gift from my 8th grade graduation from River Oaks Baptist School. Wow. And they gave me a slutty pink Bible.
Wow.
Wait, like
I'm
the cover
so
was pink because like girls get a pink Bible.
Yeah, and boys got blue because gender.
Right. And if a man hath unto him a woman, and she doth commit adultery, he shall take her eye out.
Do not test your husband. You are on a treadmill towards Jesus with him side by side at all times.
I was surprised that at some point they say like, they're like, okay, divorce is allowed, but also like not encouraged.
They kind of, well, from what I was understanding on Wikipedia, which is some would say the modern Bible, it was kind of saying like New Test was being a little bit more like, listen, we know that people are doing divorce and they are doing cheating.
Yeah, like,
and
A lot
happening.
of couples are open. Like if y'all need to be open.
that's
when
kind
you're
of
in other
happening now.
countries.
So we're going to kind of turn all of the like, you know, you can only eat a goat with 3 toes or whatever thing into like a little bit more of like metaphor vibes, and everything's being like a little bit more of just like Jesus is kind of speaking broadly and just being like, and if you feel that that's wrong, like that's wrong. But ultimately his love is light and my stone is bread and bread is water, but water is you and I have to go.
And I have to go. Oh my God.
There's a passage that spoke to me as a girl boss, if I may. So it's John 16:21. We all know it. A woman, when she is in travail, hath sorrow because her hour is come. But as soon as she is delivered of the child, she remembers no more the anguish for joy that a man is born into the world. And I took child here to be a metaphor for like posting to social media, whatever. Like when you are creating a video, it is hell and it is travail. But then when you post, it's very like, oh, I've birthed a man.
That is so wise. And I think that's exactly how I felt shooting my special. I was like, okay, through Christ unto me is born.
And it was travail, and you were like, my hour has come. Like
It was
literally.
travail. It was giving travail,
Giving
and it was
travail
serving
vibes.
my hour.
But ultimately, content is a man. Content goes
Do you think
out.
content is a man?
You know, I do.
Am I purring in my cat because it loves me?
Content to me is such a woman.
But see, this is where I think it's reversed. And you're only saying that because you're like a vicious, consumptive top, Lily. But I think
I am Herod.
I think
Hear
actually
me roar.
because if you think about it, like, oh, we think men colonize, they conquer, whatever. But like, what is the ultimate consumer? You know, the woman, the hole, the cavern. The woman it takes in all. And so content is just like a dick that you're taking in. Whereas like to view something is inherently receptive, right?
So when I
have a-
post, I'm wearing a strap on?
Yeah. Yes, honey. Yes, horty. And when I scroll, I am spreading my legs.
Sorry, if a man can post, I can post too. And I can post multiple times a day.
And that is Kardashian 712.
No, Courtney posted. I sent it to you guys. A John today. Let me just pull it up.
Yeah,
she
they-
said
they
John
love the New
4:19.
Testament.
Today she posted that?
Yeah, we love because he first loved us. Which is that's
so true.
It literally is so true.
Can I say something, though, about that? And this is where I really kind of, as I was reading this, you know, Jesus, he's running around. There's so much geography in this book.
He's really not. I mean, he's so van life, as you said. He looks like he's in fleet buses.
And he's just like going from town to town, lake to lake, and it's just endless, just being like, and then after Ashalah and Malabeth, we went to Zabulun. And everywhere his van life ass goes, it's just him being like, oh, I can save you. Oh, actually, all you need to do is love me and you'll be fine. It's just like the narcissism.
It's really outrageous.
Yeah.
The savior complex. And just like, maybe he is literally the savior, but it's just like, how do you get to that point without thinking like, I'm so amazing. All you have to do is love me and your problems are solved?
Celebrity Book Club.
It's also, can I say this, only child syndrome.
He's very only child, yes. Because it's just like when he goes to that wedding, the infamous water to wine moment, he goes to the wedding and he's like there with his entire squad and he's like, Mom/Mary Magdalene, can we have wine? And she's like, we only have water. And he's like pissed that he's at this dry wedding. And then it's like, fine, I'm turning it all into wine. And then the mom, which is also classic boy mom, to like think your son is like the most amazing.
Yeah.
It's fully asking Michael Imperioli for 50,000 euros.
Steven doesn't wait.
Sorry, I've seen a couple episodes at various hotel rooms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting thing to abstain from at this time. But I support. You have
As
to be
you
righteous.
know, I'm
Keep the
famously
faith.
contrarian. I cannot do what is popular. However, obviously, I've had the ending spoiled to me by social media, and I get it,
course.
and that's really interesting.
No, the thing is, I want to be clear about this. Like, I literally love God. I think God is amazing, but God is not Bible to me.
Right.
What is God? What is God to you?
Like a tree.
Nature.
If I had to go there.
Which?
Do y'all believe in God?
Okay,
I did for like 4 weeks after reading Marianne Williamson's book.
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
was-
saying.
Like, I was absolutely on board. I was like,
Right.
she is the divine and she is everywhere. And she is love and she is like coming back to my authentic truth. And just like, I am in her and I believe that something connects us all. And like, the collective consciousness is real. And like, I am not like an island unto myself, nor should I be. But I have forgotten about that, I guess. But go on.
when did you? I guess Stephen, did you like? When did you stop? Like it just you went to France or something like that? Like did you just go on vacation or?
Kind of. Well, I think which really says like my God is actually just like travel. And so it's like, and then when I actually go to France, I'm like, oh, I forgot about needing kind of that. Because like ultimately, God is a crutch, I think. And so it's just like when you forget about the crutch and you're just living your life, like you can call that God, but like you're not actually calling it God because you're busy living.
Yeah, you really need God when you're like in New York,
In
seasonal
your home
depression,
office,
You're not,
podcasts might-
nothing to look forward to. That's when you really need God.
Yeah.
For me, I don't believe in God, but I truly do believe in Santa in this way. I guess. Like I
Santa
get
is a god.
Santa is my boyfriend.
Santa's my boyfriend. Because like I feel like he does represent, like I know he's not quote unquote real, but like there is like a joyfulness, and I guess that's what. And he is man with the beard. Like, because I feel like when I was young and I was like, how do I know if God, because I went to Unitarian Sunday school where they just teach you obviously about like other religions and it's just like more school. And so I was like, wait, no, there is a God and is like a guy with white hair and he lives on a cloud. And I was like looking for that sign that was real and that kind of faded away. But I was like, Santa also has a white beard and lives, you know, in snow and gives you things, and like it's sinning naughty and nice, you know.
I mean, you know, there's
better
something
watch
about the All Father. You know, other religions, obviously, in Norse tradition, Odin does have a beard sometimes, and he's sort of like an old man. And there is this comfort, right, in the masculine elder, who we look up to, who has been there before us, who is strength. Who's even like maybe feels safer than the dad figure because the grandfather is maybe not gonna like fuck you in the same way because he's like he can't get out of bed in the same way. And so yeah, I think we all seek that. It's hard not to in
the
society.
grandfather,
The grandfather figure versus the father versus the van.
Not
life
Michael
Jesus.
Imperioli, but F. Murray Abraham.
F. Murray Abraham, exactly.
because he's like also being like
less threatening.
yeah, chicks are hot, but it's like in like a cute grandpa way.
Yeah, there's something charming about like that sort of lecherousness when it's over the age of 70. Hugh Hefner, right? I mean, Hugh Hefner is a Santa to many.
Yeah.
Lily, I really see the light of God within you. So
Oh my god.
do with that what you will.
That's so sweet.
I mean, there's also something about Italian and like being a child of divorce, but also like food and Christmas and everything. That,
Right.
like,
It
those
really
are all
is,
religions.
you know, my season. And
It's
when-
Sagittarius. It's
Yes.
roast chicken.
I do feel a little bit, knowing that I was baptized, I do feel a little bit saved.
Just in case.
Literally just in case. So did you have a bat mitzvah, Kat?
No,
And
I
then became
wish.
Christian?
No, my mom's side is extremely Catholic, so which is different than this evangelical stuff. The evangelical stuff was truly just to be a popular girl at my school.
And it worked.
I wasn't not popular, but I wasn't top tier.
Were you
B
B-list?
plus list?
I was probably B list.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see
Like I
that
was
for you.
I was at the party, but I wasn't invited. Because I wasn't sexual. I wasn't sexual, so there was no need to have me around.
Did you collect pens?
in a way.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
highlighters.
A lot of highlighters, a lot of different
Yeah.
colors. Like you
I
pulled
know,
out that
I know
little
what you're
case.
saying, but that's not what it was.
Okay.
But I literally know exactly what you're saying.
God,
but I'm not.
But
I
I
know
can
you
just-
get it, and I know you have the pen with you.
I can
but-
picture the like.
I actually
but-
have a bit of a masculine energy when it comes to academia. Like my handwriting's bad, which means, of course, guys, girl.
Wait, guys,
Right.
that's so hot.
And I think because I
Oh,
have
yeah.
PCOS, I actually have extra testosterone.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
you
in
got
that way, I
left
didn't
over.
collect highlighters.
And that's
Right.
why you like whiskey.
Exactly. Oh. Anyways, yeah, I was baptized and confirmed Catholic.
Oh, you-
Stephen, were
okay.
you?
Oh, absolutely not. No.
Nothing. No God
no,
within.
You know, my parents raised me as a freelancer. They were very they were busy working their jobs and having a sort of a rotating string of nannies every year. And so I was kept away from the church. And I was taught that the church was wrong. We only went to the church to like buy a Christmas tree. The only Christian moment I had was 7 a.m. mass Easter morning on the ski slope once. And my
On a
mom,
ski slope.
Not
yeah,
ski mask.
in Vermont, it was it was like my mom thought it would be this like, sort of interesting, beautiful thing. But I think it was her trying to reconcile her Catholic upbringing with her like now, atheist family. And
Ski in, ski out.
I can't
yeah.
believe both of you guys went on like religious had like religious ski outings.
Skiing is religious. Well, when you go fast down a hill, you do start to
that's
feel
God.
godlike a little
Yeah.
bit. Because you're kind of like you're at the extreme of what nature can let you do. Gravity, right? Gravity is
Well,
God's work.
No, I mean last time skiing, I think I actually did start praying when we went skiing last year in Vermont because it was so horrible. And I
hated
was
it?
like, I was in ill-fitting equipment. I was like, the fear of God was within me. My legs hurt so much. They were about to give out. And I literally was like praying. I was like, just Lily, get through this.
I think you need to be a border chick.
I want to be a border chick so bad, but I'm like, I feel like that involves even better balance than I already have. Do you board?
No.
Okay, you're more ski. Okay, I want to bring up another girl bossy quote in here, and this is I think it's Matthew again. And when the king came in to see the guests, he saw there a man which had not on a wedding garment. And he said unto him, Friend, how earnest thou in hither not having a wedding garment? And he was speechless. Which is like, I feel like literally just like when like it's about how like men don't like girls are like shocked. They're like, you're just getting your tux now, like a week before the wedding.
You're just getting your tux. And they're just like, you can't rely on them for anything.
like an email.
And
Yeah.
he's just like, what's wrong with this? She's like, you're not going to wear a vest? You need to wear a vest. All the groomsmen are wearing a vest.
You need to wear events. You need to wear the shoes. You need like, are you serious? And God
Wait, and was that-
speechless. And then
And
the
that
line
was
after-
God was God saying that.
Yeah.
Wait, Lily, can I ask, is your version, so my version, all the word of God is in red?
I've actually bought the Bible on my Kindle for $1.99. So
I can't. I haven't looked at it in so long. It scares me.
Okay,
To actually-
Gutenberg found dead.
press buy on like my Kindle, which is from 2015, and it's like so slow, and it's just like Bible $1.99. Charge it is a
It should be
crazy-
free.
Yeah. But I
really
mean,
should be
honestly,
free.
it's still a deal, the amount of wisdom you're getting for
So
$2.
I feel
There
like I read the Bible less and I was more interested. There was this book my friends and I were all obsessed with called Redeeming Love. It was a novel about a prostitute who like gets to find love through Jesus by like praying and being a virgin again.
Wow.
And I used to want my crush to see me reading it.
What was the cover? Was it like a
gonna
drawing
send
of a
it.
prostitute?
It's a woman in a red dress. I'm gonna.
Well,
send it
it's
to y'all.
interesting because it's like there's the twin desires there where it's like you obviously want, I mean, the Bible is obviously still full of sex, and the New Testament still, I think, sex courses through it, despite that it's not maybe as obvious and negative as the Old Testament. But like, it's like you wanted to be the reformed prostitute. You know what I mean? Where it's like you still wanted to be pure and you wanted this like sort of patina of naughtiness, but you wanted it like in your past, like you had rejected it so you could still be pure.
Oh, have the Kardashians always been Christian?
Because they've always been Christian. Because their thing is when they like want the other sister to take them seriously, they say Bible.
Oh my God.
They're always just like, Bible? Like, it just means I'm about to say something really important. Or like, okay, so this book that you read, it's more of like a Deb. It's more like a Southern Deb on the cover. She's kind of wearing like a Gone with the Wind dress.
Yeah, I was picturing like kind of like a cartoony woman of the night dress, not like an old-timey prostitute.
Wait, and I have a question, Kat. Did you have a Deb ball? Did you have a coming out moment or cotillion?
No, absolutely not. I did attend 1 or 2 Deb balls, but that was not my family's vibe.
Were the cotillions Christian in nature or more of non-denom?
That was more like the A-list popular were just generational wealth vibes. B-list was like cool Christian girls. Beyond that, I don't remember.
You're like, the rest were losers, so I don't remember what they were doing.
I really blacked out all those years.
Is this traumatic for us to kind of bring you back to
No,
Honestly,
honestly, reading those verses, though, it just makes me like, it does make me a little upset. I'm like, this is so fucked up. Like, I think if my parents knew how intense it was, they wouldn't have wanted me to be involved.
It really is crazy because you were rebelling against them with like insane Christianity. They were like, what is going on here? Like, you were like original, just like TikTok MAGA girl.
Oh my God, no.
But that stuff is so insane where it's just like 2 women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken and the other. You're like, and what? Like, this makes no sense. One girl works in a mill and the other doesn't.
But that's like, sometimes life is like that. And I think Jesus' message is very just like, sometimes you're at the mill and sometimes you're not. And it's kind of like,
sometimes it's your publicity tour and sometimes you're working on a project.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is very like, stop complaining, which I think is generally good advice.
That is really good advice.
I wanted to talk about the Last Supper for a second. Do you remember this scene in Luke where they're at the Last Supper? They're having all this unleavened bread, which sounds very like flat to me.
Right. Is that like kind of that Armenian, or is it more flatbread like Armenian lavash?
I was thinking lavash as they make it on the Kardashians, which is again our really only reference for Christianity, it seems.
Yeah.
But when they like go to Armenia for that one episode, and Kanye is just like, "Oh my God, like we invented a church," and then they leave. But like I wonder if it is matzah because I know that that's very important in religion as well. But I guess that's more Jewish.
But
I can't picture them
Jewish,
eating. I feel like in that famous painting, they're not eating matzah of the Last Supper.
No, to me, well, because there's, again, so much bread in this book.
The thing,
the anti-Atkins diet.
No, I mean, I was like, where is the endive salads? Like, where's the hummus?
Where's the radicchio?
Thank you.
Where's the thing? So they're having this bread, but then he does this thing where I didn't realize this because I had sort of never read this originally when I heard this story. And by the story, I mean when I listened to the song Judas by Lady Gaga. But I didn't realize that. So like Judas, the famous traitor, is like at the dinner with them and Jesus knew. And he does this thing where he's like, but behold, the hand of him that betrayeth me is with me on the table.
Oh.
And he's so it's like he's being so He's being so Knives Out, just be like, the murderer is here.
It's also giving like Real Housewives. It's very they're going on a trip together and it's like, I can't believe she's at the table.
Yeah, it's giving she's at the table, but then he's just like, guess who the murderer is? And now it's a murder mystery dinner party. And we're all just like...
so it's actually so like poly-adult games. Like, I'm having a murder mystery party.
I think I would like a murder mystery party.
Honestly, I was actually looking up some. They look really fun.
We should have one.
Okay,
Yeah.
my parents used to do them. Like with their wine tasting club.
Stop.
Your parents are poly.
Honestly, I'm worried. Well, one of the guys at their wine tasting is an actual warlock.
No.
And he was always single. And now just like, does that just mean he was gay? And he was always wearing like an amulet. And I remember they did. And like one of their parties, I played the dead body.
Oh my God.
You booked it.
I booked it. I booked the role, and I was like so into it, and was being such a faggot. And just like all the adults were having all their wine and brie, just like reading their note cards, just being like, was it Pamela?
I mean, your parents are so 80s knife out. I feel like they would be like having a dinner party, then someone actually would be like, caught dead in the library.
I would say, okay, wait, a couple other things before we go to segments. I mean, one thing that struck me about this, I feel like I was a little bit starstruck reading this. I was like,
by
well,
Jesus or Herod or John?
like just like kind of the book, like you get to a phrase that's, you know, just like a house divided cannot stand, and you're like, wow, like this is where this comes from.
Yeah.
It's kind of random. You're like, wow, like this is just a quick little line in this random book, and just like everybody's been saying this for 2,000 years.
It is like this comedy
Yeah.
special. It's like The Office. People are like, still
Yeah. People are
quoting
still.
it.
People
The
are still
Bible is
quoting
the British
it.
Office.
Wait, is British Office Old Testament and American Office
Yes,
is
there
New
you go.
Testament?
Steve Carell is my Jesus, and he can get it.
When do you think Jesus is coming back or no?
Oh, that's such a good question. Okay, did you used to think in like Ozark days, when did you think Jesus would come back? Like in your lifetime?
No, I kind of still was like, I don't think so. I don't know. It seemed a bit much. Didn't it?
Yeah. What is like the destruction of the world? That's like because I feel like that is obviously coming.
Yeah.
Second coming. Yeah, that is sort of concurrent with our conversation.
Yeah.
Second coming is here. I'm almost crazy. It's almost like maybe Jesus already came back and like left again.
I could see this happening where like there were some people who knew about it, but they kind of like, and then also some people missed it, and they felt like, oh fuck, that was him, wasn't it? And he was just there for like 45 minutes, and it's kind of awkward. And now everyone's kind of pretending like he's gonna come back, and it's like you actually just missed it. Like that was it. Like
A celebrity wearing a wig at a restaurant, and you're like, wait, I didn't see them.
Yeah.
And like, you didn't see them? It was amazing.
He was there, and like he wasn't even in Nazareth. Just like he was randomly just like in Vancouver for like 45 minutes at a lunch, and then like that was it.
Vancouver.
And
Never
we're kind
been.
of just like
Never
having to
been.
move on.
I can't
oh
believe
my
you've
god, you
never
have
been
to
to
go.
Vancouver.
I feel like it's so you.
I guess I think it's like you're famous and they like, you know,
I'm
they
so famed.
they shoot so
Vancouver
much
is
stuff there.
It's very
They do
shooting.
ship off like hot teens there to shoot CW shows.
Yeah.
And they come back 7 years later and they're just like billionaires, but they have no friends or life.
They like don't know how to speak to people at all.
And they're just like, I shot 3 seasons of The Elder Crown, like, and it was canceled even before we shot the first season somehow. My parents had their honeymoon in Vancouver.
No.
No.
With the warlock?
Yeah. Their third.
Yeah, they were like White Lotus sharing rooms, like connecting rooms with the warlock.
Vancouver in the 70s. It was crazy.
See, I feel like Jesus did come back in the 70s in Vancouver and he visited your parents.
on their honeymoon, and he was
And
like,
things have been worse since then.
It's actually been all downhill.
Because that was like the ultimate cult time. Mm-hmm. And everyone was looking like him, so...
Did you?
Everyone was looking just like him.
Yeah.
Everyone was being very long hair. Fair enough.
Where did your parents' honeymoon cap?
Oh yeah, very quick cut.
Everyone go around and say where your parents' honeymoon.
These are icebreakers that we used at Camp Ozark.
Oh my god, I need to send y'all pics from this place. It is really like, oh. My parents, I believe, honeymooned in Hawaii.
Okay, just
Okay.
fucking sexy.
Very
Kinda
classic.
They were 25, lol.
That's so
Wow.
beautiful. I
Still going
wish.
strong today.
Apparently they had
Sex. Last night, and it was awesome.
no, they were just told me recently that they had like a Catholic, I think they had a Catholic priest marry them, but he was hitting on one of the bridesmaids, which is incredible.
Wait,
Okay,
that's so 80s rom-com.
Not
Yeah.
all priests are gay. You heard it here first. Lily, did your
Fleabag.
parents honeymoon?
I'm literally trying to think. I'm like, did you guys honeymoon? I know they did a Euro backpacking trip when my sister was 1.
Oh my God, cute.
And we're so Alps, but I honestly will have to ask my mom. Like, I don't know. I know they had a wedding, and then I know they did like a second wedding for all my dad's like Italian relatives.
Yeah,
where
and
they
just
got
loop
cash.
back. Yeah, and just let us know, and you can share whatever you're comfortable with in terms of the details
And
of
we
their
can cut
honeymoon.
this part out, Lily. We can
yeah, we
totally
can
cut this
absolutely
part
cut it
out.
out.
Do you
Yeah.
beep this?
Celebrity Book Club.
What does she eat? What does she live? How does
she wear?
What does
How
she
does
wear?
live it?
How does she live it? Okay, let's start with what does she wear? I think that's interesting. I think God is obviously very robes and rags. Modern Jesus would obviously be more just like I guess-
Heart?
Oh, wow. Actually,
Isn't it
yeah.
more? But isn't it more evangelical guys are wearing like really long t-shirts and tight pants?
Oh, I know what you mean.
I feel like there's actually 2 Jesuses. There's like super poly, long shirt, hemp, like from a weird
so many have
California store.
necklaces, wide hat,
Bracelets.
a lot of rings and bracelets, the beads. Yeah.
But then I also see this like Carhartt, just like double knee pants, tan.
Living out of his
Yeah.
car in Bushwick and like
Yeah.
slay like new girl every night.
Full fuckboy, come to Galilee with me, beanie.
That's true.
Sounds hot.
Carhartt Jesus and like Etsy Jesus.
I think, and then back then it was obviously like more rags and robes, and everyone was just always in like the most perfectly like modest toga that was just like hanging just so.
Like,
so you
but
couldn't
do you
see the
think the
balls.
prostitutes sex workers of
Nazareth,
Nazareth, like, were they in this dress that
the
is, like,
SW,
on
the Swan, Sex Workers of Nazareth.
was it like? Were they in like kind of like more, scantily clad things? Do we think?
Or was it like ankle vibes?
Right, you're just showing ankle and wrist.
I feel
I'm
like
picturing one shoulder.
I think it's one shoulder. I also think it's just like weird, subtle things that maybe you wouldn't see. You know what I mean? Just like, oh, like she has like one fern leaflet like on the left shoulder. It's kind of hanky coat. Even.
Oh,
and
tat-
people
yeah.
are like, oh, that means she takes it up the ass.
Mm-hmm.
And like she's down, or it's like the back of the dress is dirty in this weird way where you're like, oh, I know why. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I bet the back of the dress is like so dirty because it's like so much clay.
I feel like everything is probably so dirty back then. Like the way
I
that
know, I'm
tide
picturing like
was not
sand
invented.
and all the crevices.
So sand.
beach sex constantly.
Dusty.
Okay, what does she eat? Obviously, bread.
Unleavened bread,
Olive oil.
rosemary.
It's very like dips. It's very like
Tura, like tura masal, like tzatziki.
yeah, like hummus.
totally.
I guess I never saw hummus mentioned in this book, but like,
Wait,
it
yeah,
must
because
be
do
in
they
there.
do yogurt like a tzatziki? Is that happening? Because I guess it is so goat. So they're like, has dairy happened?
Dairy is definitely happening. I feel like they're always like milking a cow is such a metaphor.
Right.
Okay. I just not. This is against the rules, but I did just Google hummus in the Bible, and it does say Ruth and Boaz met in Bethlehem, and he offered her what seems to have been an ancient form of hummus. He said, "Come hither and eat of the bread, and dip thy morsel in vinegar." They do talk about vinegar a lot, and I think that maybe vinegar has like is like maybe an overly like a broad translation for a lot of different things.
Because it
Where
could
it's
be
like-
wine. I mean, it's also probably how they like.
Could be
cooked.
apple juice. It could be olive oil. It could be maybe even hummus in this case.
A dip of vinegar, right?
Because there's that thing where Jesus is on the cross. Do you remember that? And like some like townsperson gives him vinegar from like a leaf or something. to,
No,
like,
I mean,
drink.
the
and it's
food
like if
somewhat,
I'm
like,
dying,
meat-
do I want to just drink straight vinegar? Actually, maybe because it's like so good for you.
Right. Again, it's pretty
Apple
natural.
cider.
Yeah, it's apple cider. They're doing shots of apple cider vinegar for like gut health.
Like the
For gut health.
defender.
Right. If you're being crucified, like a way to boost your immune system is drink vinegar.
top 10 things to eat before you get crucified.
Okay.
But meat-wise, I was going to say, I feel like it feels very, like, classic Thanksgiving. Like, it's all, like, Spitfire. Not Thanksgiving, like, Christmas. Like, lamb roasts and, like, braised chicken tagines.
This all sounds very good.
Yeah, it's a dinner party. Good, yeah, winter dinner party stuff, you know.
Root vegetables?
Yes, tons of root vegetables. Squash? Is that too far?
Lily, I think you're getting too autumnal. Like, we're talking about Israel here. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe they do have squash over there.
Who are you in the book? Cat.
Isn't there like a wife who takes a bath on a roof? Or is that Old Testament?
I'm sure there is somewhere.
Yeah.
There's so few women in this amazing book.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And they're always
really-
like a wife. It's always just like kind of general wife vibes.
Because there's so many women in Old Testament in this book. I was like, this is so Boston movie. Everyone is like, oh, meet my brother Tom's friend Simon. And like, we're going out with Matthew, Luke, and John. You're like, this lacrosse team.
I kind of think maybe I'm married just because obviously I'll say it. She's a liar. Like, she obviously was cheating on Joseph and like got pregnant and then was just like, okay, randomly immaculate conception. Isn't that crazy? And Joseph was like obviously like sad and couldn't get it up and was just like so cucked and was just like, wow, my pure wife got pregnant. And it's like, babe, read the room. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But
And
we've been keeping up this charade for years
for literally thousands
to
of years.
protect Joseph.
I know, to protect his fucking fragile male ego.
Men are garbage people.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Time to take out the trash.
John 3:12, men are garbage. Oh wait, P.S. I finally looked up Houston stuff, Austin 3:16, and I guess that was him.
Same.
I thought it was like him being Christian, but it was him actually just being like, no, Austin 3:16 is I'll whip your ass, like to another wrestler. You guys look so blank. Me talking
What is
about
this?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I looked up John 3:16 and it was about getting into heaven and I was like, that's interesting. I forgot Austin. I mean, Austin's not one of the books.
No. So Stone Cold Steve Austin.
No, I got
the
that.
wrestler.
Yes.
It was, but like on all of his T-shirts, it says Stone Cold 3:16,
Right.
and I thought always his thing was that Bible quote. But I looked it up, and it was like there was another wrestler that I guess was being so Bible quote, and he was like, "Suck this," like Austin 3:16, like I'll whip your ass.
Okay.
Anyway, that could you guys are like,
I hate that we
literally-
still like it's unfair to you because you did explain it again, but we still don't understand.
And we're just
That's
moving.
okay.
We're moving on, and
That's what podcasting is. It's raw and it's
Yeah, it's
real.
real.
And for God so loved the world that he sent his only begotten son, etc. And I always
You guys, I hate to do this. I have to hard
You have to
out
go.
here right now.
You have to
but
go.
I want
It's
you
so
guys
fine.
to wrap this up in
okay,
God's
well,
name.
I guess actually it turns out you're fucking Jesus because you're always like parting ways and going to Galilee and like another city. I guess I'm John. I don't know why, but I'm just saying that.
I'm the girl on the bath and the roof.
You guys, I give this book, I don't know, 2 out of 5 like floggings. I'm a little bit just like, it kind of skips over stuff really quickly, but then there's so much boring stuff where it's like, and then I went here, and it's just like, I don't know. Let's give a little more color in here.
Yeah, I'm giving it 1.7 mason jars of natural wine out of 5. I'm just like, it repeats itself. It's confusing, but it makes me feel like I should understand it. So it makes me feel stupid, which I don't like. Kat, what's your rating?
Like seven hemp friendship bracelets passed amongst the girls.
Just braiding each other.
Christians love to wear lots of bracelets and necklaces.
So true.
Kat, you've given us so much wisdom today. This has
I
really
feel
been
the
a
same about
journey
you.
through your past.
You guys actually read the book.
I feel,
Honey,
I feel
you are
rich.
the book.
I try and live the book, but I'll keep praying about it, and I'll pray for y'all tonight. And thank you.
I'll pray for you too.
Okay, praying for you both, honestly, as I make sex noises in my bunk.
I can't wait for murder dinner.
Murder dinner.
See you at murder dinner. Kat, I'm sure I'm not going to ask you where people can find you because that's honestly the dumbest thing anyone could ask. It's just like they can look you up. They already know. It's called Google, honey. Thank you for
I'm trying to
joining
get on
us.
TikTok. Are y'all on Tik?
That's not something I can do at my age.
I am
please.
to browse other Christian pages.
Girl defined. Okay,
Yeah,
I'll let you go, but we do have to talk about that in person next time.
We will.
Okay, you guys can stay
love you
on and
both.
chat. I am running.
I love you.
literally
I'll
am
send you
obsessed
my
with
file.
Love you.
I love you. Best.
In his name, in his son's
It
precious
send
blood.
the file in his name. Club Kids best. Praise be. Heal thee. Have a blessed day.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Celebrity Book Club is presented by Prologue Projects. The show is produced by Benjamin Frisch, with editorial support from Leon Nafok, Andrew Parsons, Arlene Arevalo, and Madeline Kaplan. Our production manager is Percia Verlin. Original theme song by Stephen Phillips Horst. Artwork by Teddy Blanks at Chips NY. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at CBC The Pod. Subscribe on your favorite podcast app. Leave us a review and don't forget to tell your friends, well, about us. And don't forget to go to patreon.com for access to the VIP Lounge, our exclusive bonus podcast.